Welcome back. Well, tell me if you've ever done this. You've spent more money in order to get your hands on a deal. It's called spaving, a combination of spending and saving, and many of us have been guilty of it, myself included. We have April Reed Cruz from Reed Financial Group here with us this morning with the pitfalls of spaving and how to turn it around if you spent too much money while trying to save money. Good morning. So good to have you here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
I love this topic because I think it's so incredibly relatable, because I don't know a soul who has not fallen into this trap. Explain for us a little more exactly what spaving is, or what some examples of it are.
I checked, and spaving is actually not in the dictionary yet. Maybe we can put this on the map today, but spaving is spending money to save money. And a lot of times what we end up doing is falling into a trap where we think that we're saving. Marketers are great at this. They know exactly how to play on those emotions and make you feel great about saving a dollar.
Right.
But what we're really doing is spending too much to try to save a little bit.
Well, and sometimes it is a deal where you're just buying more than you would otherwise, but you are saving money per item. Sometimes it's not even a deal, right?
Yeah, you know, when you see the four for, you can get $12, three of them for $12, and they're $4 each. You know, what a deal.
What a deal.
It's the same thing. We have to think about it and break it down.
Okay.
There are a lot of things, too, that you can do that are kind of state-specific, like in Georgia with Publix. A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to get 2 items for their BOGO sale.
Yes.
You can get one that's half off. So you can actually kind of fall into a trap of, again, buying more than you need. That was a really hard one to explain to my 11-year-old in the frozen aisle the other day at Publix. But you can do that, and that's not in every state, but in Georgia you can.
I've done the same thing, the 10 for 10. I'm like, I don't need 10 of this. Am I still going to get a deal here if I only get 1 or 2? But that's good to know. All right, so you've fallen into the trap here. What sort of problems can this cause for you financially if you're in the habit of spaving?
People often lose control of what they're spending in general. So having a budget is a great way to either get back on track or prevent this from happening to begin with. Sometimes people don't like the thought of a budget, so it can often be helpful to think of it as a spending plan instead. And I find that pivot can often help people with being a little bit more committed, having an accountability partner to it. And then a lot of times we get so hooked on just putting things in auto mode, an autopilot.
Sure.
And we don't check it. So look at those credit card statements on a monthly basis. You'll probably find subscriptions that you forgot about that maybe were a good deal when you got them. Maybe you aren't even using them anymore, but monitor those things.
Okay. All right. So let's say you have done too much of this. Now you have credit card debt as a result. What is the first step that you should take to rectify that situation?
Assess the situation in detail is the first thing that you've got to do, and really identify it. And then we can't deal with it if we haven't identified the problem. So assess the situation, identify what needs to be worked on, and whether it's an avalanche method, a snowball method, whatever that is, if you've fallen into the trap of high credit card debt, pick a method that makes the most sense for you so that you can have a strategy and continue to assess that strategy, build on that strategy. Accountability partners are huge in this because it's a hard thing to do consistently, and it's not very fun.
No.
But those are some of the best places to start, especially where as high as interest rates are right now on credit cards.
And a lot of our viewers are probably familiar with avalanche versus snowball, but give us a quick explanation again on how those differ when you're trying to tackle debt.
Yeah, they're actually kind of polar opposites, really, where the way that I try to remember it is that a snowball is small, so you start with the smallest debt first. Avalanche is big, so you start with the highest interest rate first and work your way backwards from there. And it really depends on how your debt is structured, what's going to make the most sense.
Right, and sometimes it's just playing a mental game with yourself. What's going to keep you going towards your goal, whichever one's going to be best for you. All right, so you've done that. You've assessed the situation. You're making a plan here. You've put in the work to get to this point. The trick is staying debt-free, right? Like how do we make sure that we're able to do that?
It goes back to accountability and having a defined strategy, and making sure also that we're not neglecting things like putting aside money for an emergency reserve, for retirement. So those are some additions you can tack on once you're tackling that debt, but other things that are really important to make sure that you stick to it.
Yeah. Well, yes, that is great advice.
Easier said than done, right?
I'm trying to stick to in my own life. I'm going to catch myself. I know. I'm going to be on Amazon. They're going to be like $5 more, and you get free this or that.
Check those subscriptions too. I see it all the time with things like an introductory offer for a car wash, $20 for the premium wash, and you get to do that for 3 months, and then it triples in price.
Absolutely.
So if you're not paying attention and looking at those statements on a monthly basis, it's easy to do it.
Well, I'm grateful that you've given us sort of the advice and the heads up of what to look out for, so maybe we don't fall into this trap in the first place.
We can try.
We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you can head to our website, fox5atlanta.com, to find a link to contact April for your financial needs.